He held a massive diamond, trying to trade it for his kidnapped friend's release. This enormous diamond was the Heart Diamond, worth well over $100 million. As a magician, Daniel originally planned to pull a trick using a fake, but he underestimated her caution, as the woman brought in the most renowned appraiser. With no other choice, Daniel handed over the real diamond to get Merritt back. After the deal was done, the group turned to leave, but Veronica suddenly revealed a dangerous smile. As expected, she went back on her word and locked them inside a massive glass tank. She intended to kill them all and make it look like a stage accident. As the mechanism activated, fine sand began pouring down from the top of the tank. At that moment, the Four Horsemen were facing the deadliest crisis of their careers. Even worse, they hadn't expected a trap like this and had no usable props. Veronica had even planned ahead by blocking all mobile signals in the area. As panic set in, Henley, the escape artist, was the first to step forward. She forced everyone to calm down and quickly calculated how much time they had left. Then she directed them to inspect the glass tank carefully, searching for any flaw or hidden exit. But Veronica had clearly anticipated this, as the tank was completely sealed on all sides. Just as they were about to say their final words, Daniel felt a strange familiarity. He recalled a master magician who nearly died during a buried alive escape act. The wet sand had created immense pressure on the glass, which saved his life. Lula noticed the water pipe above the tank and realized that wetting the sand might give them the same chance. Agile Jack quickly climbed to the top. He hooked his belt around the pipe and pulled with all his strength. The others rushed to help, and together they managed to break the pipe. Seeing a chance to survive, smiles finally returned to their faces. But it didn't take long for them to realize something was wrong. The water was filling the tank much faster than the sand. If this continued, they would drown before the glass could break. That's when Daniel remembered Henley's diamond ring, the perfect tool for cutting glass. Without hesitation, Henley pressed the ring against the glass and began cutting. Under the pressure, a crack finally formed in the glass. The others kicked together, and with a sharp crack, the tank shattered. Covered in sand and soaked, they had all survived, and all of this began with what seemed like an ordinary performance. 10 years had passed since they exposed Arthur and his son's conspiracy in London. Today marked the Four Horsemen's first show in a decade. As Daniel reunited the old team, the crowd erupted in thunderous applause. But an unfriendly voice suddenly rose from the crowd. A man sneered, claiming their magic was nothing but pointless tricks. At that moment, a girl nearby asked if his gold watch was real. Once he confirmed it, the girl gave him a friendly warning. At this magic show, everyone was either a thief or a target, but the man clearly didn't take her warning seriously. At that moment, the stage performance officially kicked off. Henley first asked everyone to swap their cards with people around them. Daniel then asked the audience who was holding the ace of diamonds. The next second, a boy excitedly raised his card and was invited on stage as tonight's assistant. Merritt immediately used his signature hypnosis on the boy. One by one, the Four Horsemen seemed to vanish, as if merging with the boy. Tonight, they would use the boy to complete a magic act never seen before. Under the audience's expectant eyes, the boy's expression suddenly shifted.
J. Daniel Atlas in the house? So, who wants to see a magic trick?
Amid the cheers, the figure on stage changed again. Now it was Merritt. Merritt calmly said the name of a man, the one who had openly mocked them earlier. Merritt publicly exposed the man's scheme to defraud New Yorkers of their pensions. He even revealed the exact accounts holding the stolen money. Only then did the man realize his phone had somehow ended up on the stage. This time, Jack was on stage, casually tossing the stolen phone into the crowd. As the furious man lunged forward, the boy's expression changed again, this time into Henley.
Someone forgot Henley can fly.
Under the man's stunned gaze, the Four Horsemen brought the show to a flawless end. Daniel then asked the audience to wet their cards, revealing the hidden codes beneath. The money the man had stolen would be recovered through those codes. The crowd's cheers and the man's helpless rage marked a perfect finale to the show. At that moment, piercing sirens sounded outside, and the crowd scattered instantly. The man stormed onto the stage in anger, only to find curtains and a hologram. That was when he realized he had been completely played. Elsewhere, 3 young people walked down the street, thrilled by their perfect performance. It turned out the entire show was an imitation act staged under the name of the Four Horsemen, and with this performance, they made a huge score off that man. But when they returned to their hideout, they were met by someone completely unexpected. At first, they thought it was another hologram, but quickly realized something was wrong. Standing before them was the real Daniel Atlas himself. Daniel knew everything about the 3 of them. First was Bosco, the performer on stage, forced to drop out of performing arts school due to crushing student loans. Then there was June, who ran away from home and later met Charlie at a magic shop. Charlie was an orphan, moving through foster homes, until meeting them and finally understanding what family meant. From then on, the 3 traveled together, scraping by with their magic performances. But by using the Four Horsemen's name this time, they drew the attention of the Eye. Daniel had received orders from the Eye, and next he would guide the 3 in an incredible magic act. Without hesitation, the 3 accepted the challenge. Their target was a diamond called the Heart Diamond. Not only was it one of the most valuable gems in the world, it also served as the cornerstone of the Vanderburg mining group. The diamond had long been sealed inside an underground vault beneath the Arabian desert and was rarely shown to anyone. To promote the upcoming auction of their new ore, the Vanderburg group decided to make an exception. They would publicly display the heart diamond at a private auction in Antwerp. Their mission was to seize the opportunity and steal the diamond. The real reason was that the Vanderburg family had been laundering money through diamonds for decades. Arms dealers, human traffickers, warlords, anyone who could pay was welcomed. Under Veronica's rule, even flawless diamonds had been stained with blood that could never be washed away. Driven by justice, they immediately set their plan in motion. Meanwhile, as Veronica was preparing for the auction, she suddenly received an unknown phone call. No one spoke on the other end, just a creepy children's rhyme echoed through the line. The moment she heard it, Veronica grew tense and ordered everyone out of the room. The mysterious caller finally spoke, instructing her to open the locker beside her. Inside were personal belongings of a boy who had died 15 years earlier. At that moment, a visible crack formed in Veronica's composed expression. The caller then made his demand. He wanted the heart diamond in her possession. Otherwise, the truth from 15 years ago would be exposed to the world. Veronica tried to remain calm, but her restless steps betrayed her inner panic. At the same time, Bosco and the others pulled off a small trick at the train station. They intercepted Veronica's photographer and altered his shooting schedule. So when Veronica arrived for the shoot, the people she met were actually Bosco and his team in disguise. Bosco perfectly mimicked the photographer's mannerisms. Even the cautious Veronica didn't notice anything unusual. During the shoot, Charlie subtly redirected the lights, making the diamond suddenly shine with unnatural brilliance. Seizing the moment, Bosco demanded the diamond be brought out for filming, or he would refuse to continue. After hesitating, Veronica finally gave in and personally held the priceless diamond in her hands. Joan slowly moved in as well, but just as she was about to touch the diamond, a bodyguard stopped her. Veronica quickly put the diamond back and ended the shoot. Their plan had failed, but they had no intention of giving up. They quickly changed outfits and prepared to blend into the auction. As Veronica presented the diamond to the guests, Bosco suddenly posed as an environmental activist and publicly accused the Vanderburg group of mining crimes. Before Veronica's stunned eyes, he slammed over the massive diamond-shaped display on the table. The guests were instantly thrown into chaos. At that moment, Daniel seized the opportunity to step onto the scene. He declared that he would make the heart diamond in the glass case appear in his hand. Veronica scoffed at the claim, fully confident in the security measures protecting the diamond. But Daniel casually muttered a few words, and the glass case swung open. Veronica quickly grabbed the diamond. The next second, the diamond suddenly shattered in her hand. As the crowd gasped in shock, Daniel revealed the real heart diamond from his own hand. Seeing this, Veronica quickly ordered her bodyguards to seize the diamond. Just as they lunged forward, Jack suddenly appeared, blocking the bodyguards. He had also received the cards and had come to assist. The bodyguards closed in fast, and the group scattered to escape in different directions. Jack confronted the pursuers first, throwing several playing cards that knocked the relentless bodyguards down with pinpoint accuracy. Meanwhile, Daniel yanked the tablecloth, performing a flawless vanishing action. After briefly fending off the pursuers, they didn't pause for a second and rushed up the stairs. At that moment, another familiar face appeared. Henry had also received the cards and came to assist. They charged onto the terrace, and just as they thought there was no way out, the three pursuing bodyguards suddenly froze. Two of them played violins seemingly in midair, while the last was knocked down by a single punch from Jack. It turned out Merritt had secretly completed the hypnosis in advance. The group was no longer surprised by their old friend's appearances, but clearly this was no time for catching up. They needed to leave immediately, so everyone quickly boarded the rooftop helicopter. When the bodyguards reached the rooftop, a flash of white light appeared, and the helicopter had vanished into thin air. In reality, the group had already evacuated quietly, using ropes, leaving the bodyguards bewildered. Meanwhile, Veronica finally realized that it wasn't the diamond itself that had been swapped, but the box containing it. During the photo shoot, everyone's attention had been focused on Joan near the diamond. No one noticed that Charlie had quietly completed the switch on the side. When Bosco pushed the decorative piece to draw attention, Charlie smoothly transferred the real diamond and handed it to Joan. Coordinating with Daniel's performance, they opened the box at just the right moment, triggering the fake diamond. The flawless magic act was successfully completed. Meanwhile, the group who had escaped successfully began planning their next move. They pieced together the Four Horsemen cards, revealing a clear map. It was clear that this was their next destination. After unlocking the door's code, they entered a castle filled with magical props. As they looked around, a familiar figure appeared. It was their old friend Sadius. Originally, everyone had thought the tarot cards were his doing, but unexpectedly, Sadius had also received guidance and had prepared this castle ahead of time. The answers they were seeking were most likely hidden here. Meanwhile, Veronica received another call from the mysterious person, delivering a final ultimatum. She had to bring the diamond to Abu Dhabi within a week, or the secret would be exposed. Veronica had no choice but to continue tracking down the Four Horsemen. She quickly discovered discovered through her powerful network that they had appeared in France. Meanwhile, inside the castle, the group began to split up and explore. They came across rooms filled with mirrors, upside-down rooms, and spaces with distorted proportions. During their exploration, Daniel often lectured Bosco in a condescending, know-it-all tone. This attitude annoyed Bosco, who decided it was time to show Daniel what real magic looked like.
Let your audience enjoy the real magic.
I've never been great at poker, but is a diamond trumped by a heart?
Oh, there it is.
Hey!
There she goes.
No storm in China.
There we are. Beautiful.
But wisdom and skill always trump youthful arrogance, and the Four Horsemen remained superior. At that moment, Charlie noticed something unusual in a nearby portrait. He gently touched the painting and retrieved a scroll of papers. It turned out the Vanderburg family had once helped surviving Nazi war criminals launder money. After Veronica took over, she continued to exploit this criminal network. Perhaps the Eye's purpose was to guide them to use magic to reveal this family's crimes. At the same time, Bosco also found more information about Veronica online. It turned out that Veronica's mother had committed suicide 15 years ago. Just a week later, the butler's brakes failed, killing her and her son in a car crash. Some speculated it was a carefully planned murder, but there was never any solid evidence. Just as the group was starting to piece things together, sirens blared outside the castle. The police quickly surrounded the castle and began searching for them in separate teams. Using their recent knowledge of the castle, the group led the police into different rooms. They cleverly used various props in the rooms to trap the officers. However, Sadius missed the optimal moment to escape, while everyone else planned the exit routes. Just as he was about to escape using a magic prop, an officer, overly tense, fired his gun. Outside the room, Merritt and the other two heard the gunshot and felt a sense of foreboding. Before they could react, they were immediately subdued by the police behind them. The remaining members, seeing an injured Sadius in the safe corridor, panicked. The wise elder had always guided the Four Horsemen, but now, with the Four Horsemen able to stand on their own, the elder finally closed his eyes peacefully. With little time left, they had no choice but to leave the castle with heavy hearts. After successfully escaping, the four did not act rashly, knowing they could not survive the police station encounter on their own. Thus, a bolder plan began to take shape in their minds. At this moment, a drunken old witch was brought back to the police station. She staggered as she walked, looking disoriented, and accidentally fell to the ground. When she struggled to stand, her arm seemed as if it had been broken. The witch's sharp screams scared the police, who quickly retreated. But the next second, she pulled a perfectly fine arm from her sleeve. She even produced a lock-picking tool from her nose and stood directly in front of Jack's cell. As the witch's mask was torn away, Lura's face slowly appeared before him. She rescued both Jack and Merritt. She sent Merritt to find Joan, while she and Jack stayed outside to provide support. At that moment, Veronica was about to take Joan away, and a frightened officer rushed in to report. It was this brief distraction that allowed Joan to vanish right then and there. She hid under the table, but the police still caught sight of her. Just as Joan was about to be caught again, Merritt arrived and rescued her. But he was caught by another armed officer, and a direct fight would be hopeless. Merritt had no choice but to desperately attempt hypnosis. Yet before he could relax, more gun barrels were already trained on him. Meanwhile, the rest of the group who had escaped were trying to figure out how to rescue Merritt. They discovered Veronica's next destination, the Abu Dhabi racing launch event. They decided that while rescuing Merritt, they would also expose Veronica's crimes. So they prepared the grandest opening in 10 years to mark the return of the Four Horsemen. The spectacle clearly caught Veronica's eye. She contacted Daniel directly, demanding they trade the heart diamond for Merritt, and thus the opening scene of the Four Horsemen's exchange with Veronica unfolded. Meanwhile, the three newcomers quietly infiltrated the racing launch event. Using her agility, Joan successfully stole an ID card, allowing the two of them to bypass security and get close to the car. Bosco then drove the latest racing car onto the road, speeding away. Only by drawing enough security and police attention, causing chaos at the scene, could the Four Horsemen perform their real magic and turn the tables without being noticed. But he wasn't skilled at handling the car, and soon he was forced to stop by several police vehicles. He was captured, yet Bosco did not give up. Taking advantage of the police's brief distraction, he slipped out of the handcuffs. By the time the officers realized something was wrong, it was too late. He took down 4 officers on his own and escaped successfully. Meanwhile, Veronica had the diamond in her possession. She received a call from the mysterious person and immediately headed to the meeting point. Upon arriving at the vault, Veronica, to be safe, even took the guard's gun. Here, she finally met the mysterious person. It turned out that Charlie was the butler's son, Veronica's half-brother. Veronica was visibly shocked the moment she saw him. She had truly considered Charlie her brother until her mother's suicide. Without another word, Veronica handed the heart diamond to Charlie and left. The moment Charlie let his guard down, Veronica unexpectedly turned and fired. As Veronica tried to pick up the heart diamond from the floor, Charlie acted again.
Bullet catch.
That's impossible.
The next second, the entire room vanished, and the two appeared directly on the stage. Charlie remained unfazed. Following his lead, Joan and Bosco appeared on stage one after another. By now, the Five Horsemen, who had just escaped the water tank, arrived, witnessing everything that had happened. Watching Charlie's group perform brilliantly, they felt truly proud. It turned out that all of this had been carefully planned by Charlie, who knew he couldn't take revenge alone. So he created the Eye of Heaven tarot cards for the Four Horsemen and prepared the castle materials in advance. He guided them step by step to help him complete his revenge plan. Veronica, seeing everything unfold, felt her defenses completely crumble. She could not understand how she had ended up in this situation. Seeing this, Charlie kindly explained everything to her, revealing that Veronica had been trapped since getting into the car. The sandstorm by the vault, which she thought was natural, had actually been artificially created. Even the guard at the vault was Bosco in disguise, and the gun he held was loaded with blanks. It was this series of clever setups that unknowingly exposed Veronica's true nature. Now, as the sole heir of the Vanderburg family, Charlie decided to donate all the company's assets and ensure that all illegal dealers paid the price.
And please remember, no matter what cards life deals you, you have to learn to make your own magic. Ladies and gentlemen,
We are the Horsemen!
Good night!